There's quite a few things that lead to the resurgence of the Xbox, and I don't think I've ever seen a time when Xbox has been looked at more positively, especially online. I know the Xbox 360 did incredibly well, and there was an incredibly powerful sentiment backing Xbox 360. But if you go back in time and look at, 2005, 2006, when that thing launched and was doing so well, and people were talking about it, and it was like the apple of everybody's eye, one of the main things that we saw was there wasn't all this stuff with like the Twitters and all this kind of stuff, right? There wasn't the heavy influence of social media. There was various gaming outlets and things like that, but it wasn't like make or break when it comes to what was happening with the consoles and things like that. So it wasn't nearly as bad. Like what happened with Sony with the PS3 when they announced it and told people they could get a second job to work for it, and it's $600 and all this stuff. If that were to happen in this day and age, who knows if they were going to be able to recover, right? Like, it's something that I've talked about extensively, which is the Xbox One had a much tougher time in the day and age of Twitter and all that kind of stuff than anybody else, and YouTube, of course, right? Like, everybody's talking about it. Everybody was doing videos about TV and all that kind of stuff, whereas back in 2005 when Sony's announcing this stuff isn't as prevalent as it is today. So Sony had an easier time recovering. Microsoft had much tougher time recovering, and basically had to watch their P's and Q's. Like, the thing is, people are ready to hate Microsoft quick, right? It doesn't take much. That's the thing that kind of, you can't let that ever surprise you, right? Let's just be honest. People are looking for a reason to hate on Microsoft, and the second that something happens, they would be on Microsoft like, stink on poopy. Let's just be real here. So, they have to watch their P's and Q's a lot more than Sony. Sony tends to be able to get away with a little bit more, and maybe that shouldn't really come as a surprise, but this bit of information kind of cements where the public eye is when it comes to Xbox. And it is nice to see, I have to admit, after years of dark times from the Xbox One. So I'm gonna really be excited to get into this video. As you can probably tell, that I'm very passionate about this topic, and I'm sure it's going to be a video you don't want to miss. Hey there everyone, I'm the Crapgamer, and of course this is Crapgamer Reviews, your home for gaming news, opinions, reviews, and much more. You'll maybe notice some changes around here, but hopefully that doesn't stop you from at least giving us a like, and possibly even consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your free time with me today. It really does mean a lot. So when we look at how Microsoft has been able to turn the corner, they've done it with multiple things. First of all, they went back to what made Xbox a popular thing with hardcore gamers in the first place, right? Which was power. So they've got the power narrative back. They've got, everybody hyped up. Regardless, I realize the PS5 and Xbox Series X are very similar in power. I'm not going to try to blow smoke up your ears. That's just how it is. So when it comes to what they've, they did that. They have the powerful console. They also have the entry-level console. Very smart move. They also have, Xbox Game Pass, Xbox Live, these things that people look at as being huge factors for why you would pick up an Xbox. Obviously, also, they've picked up a lot of really good studios. Even if you're just a more traditional gamer that wants to buy your games, the fact that they own all the Bethesda studios and, and their games are reviewing better than ever seems to be a very good indication of, a good reason as to why people would pick up their games. Now, when it comes to Game of the Year and awards and things like that this year, it's very funny because at the official Game Awards, Halo Infinite won the, the user poll or whatever, the user vote, the voice, and I think that's very telling. And I think Microsoft would rather have won a user award like that where, thousands and thousands of people are saying, hey, this is my favorite game, than something from the industry, because who knows, that the industry can be fickle, people can be fickle, and it's just one of those things where we have to kind of look at these types of things and go, hey, what's going on here? So for me personally, I always look at it sort of like that. But now they've won another substantial award from the people, right? So obviously IGN, the audience, voted for People's Choice winners for 2021, and Halo Infinite won Game of the Year from the people. There were plenty of reasons, and this is according to Ryan McCaffrey. He says there were plenty of reasons to be pessimistic about Halo Infinite heading into it. The departure of not one but two directors on the project before Halo co-creator Joseph Staten parachuted in to help steer Infinite to the finish line. The painful delay to the Xbox Series X second holiday instead of its first one. And Craig The Brute, of course. But developer 343 Industries get the last laugh, and we get the last smiles because Halo Infinite delivers. It's a single-player campaign that reinvigorates the series by organically blending Halo's classic combat sandbox with a massive Halo ring that you're free to explore and cause trouble in, like a glorious mashup of Halo 1 and Halo 3. Its multiplayer boldly goes free-to-play and gives players both a old and new something, and it turned out that the first-person shooter space desperately needed. A pure arena shooter that over-delivers on fun and cuts out on any of the trendy nonsense. Battle Pass issues notwithstanding, in total, it is a package that restores Halo to its rightful place in the video game zeitgeist, and one that no FPS fan should miss out, according to Ryan McCaffrey. Now, the very interesting thing about that is Halo Infinite is, obviously seeing a resurgence. It's a franchise player from Microsoft, and as such, there are always big expectations that come with every new game in the series. Fortunately, Halo Infinite soars over those expectations like Master Chief with a grappling hook and a Banshee. Halo Infinite would be a must-play exclusive for the free-to-play multiplayer alone, which even with its Battle Pass and progression issues is still one of the best multiplayer experiences of the year. But there's also the top-notch campaign that features some of the best open-ended firefights the Halo series has ever seen, thanks to the versatility offered by Master Chief's new arsenal of gear and weapons. Taken together, Halo Infinite is the total package, and one of the best reasons to own an Xbox console in 2021. That's officially from IGN, but again, the fact that, readers and polls and things like that are so, loving the game, I think that really kind of says a lot about what it's able to accomplish. Now, the interesting thing here is also, if you want any kind of clear indication of how far things have kind of turned in favor of Microsoft and something like this, you guys know, like Reset Era and these forums and stuff like that are traditionally huge. Sony, there's a little bit of a favoritism there, but in the thread for this, you read through the comments and it's like, well deserved. It's my game of the year. Awesome. It's my game of the year too. Exactly what I was going to say. I think it was absolutely be looked back on as a neat consensus game of the year from 2021 just due to the continued positive word of mouth. Another People's Choice Award deserved. Game is that good. Well deserved. I've not played a video game this much in a long time. Deserved. I love the multiplayer. A month ago, if you told me Halo Infinite was going to get so much recognition in Game of the Year lists and awards, I would have laughed in your face. Quite the turnaround. Kudos to everyone who worked on it. Deserved. They absolutely crushed it. My Game of the Year at the moment, although Hitman 3 puts up a good fight. Same here. Very well deserved. I guess the third time really is the charm. So again, everything is realistically a positive from Microsoft. That's something you would maybe never expect to see from an Xbox game. Like, think about it this way. Like, think last generation, right? They actually had some really good games, like even stuff that they paid for, like Titanfall, right? But people complained about it and talked about resolution. Same thing with, when you think about how these companies were able to kind of accomplish what they've been able to do, I think that it's really significant to let people know exactly what exactly what's happening in this world, right? Because to be honest with you, I never thought I would have seen the day where Xbox and people would look at Xbox as like a positive thing, and it almost, it just does, not almost, it makes me smile with the way that that's kind of happened. So I really am excited by the future of what's going to happen and what's going to come down the pipeline with Microsoft and Xbox, and I think PlayStation's in a good spot as well. But this just really goes to show you that, some perseverance and patience, and you can actually get things kind of running the right way. And I think that's exactly what people are most excited about, is you have something that's kind of being run the proper way and set up for success this time, instead of a negative the way that it was. So hopefully this is exactly what everybody was sort of talking about, and everybody can kind of get an idea of where Microsoft is headed now. Is everything going to be great? Is everything going to be rosy and perfect with Xbox from here on out? Of course not, because that's not the way these things work. But to see this and to see the public respond, you don't understand how rare that is, how I never thought that would happen years ago as an Xbox fan. So yeah, it is very nice to see, and it's an exciting time to be a gamer, and it's an exciting time to be an Xbox fan, because I never thought that I would see this much positivity around Xbox. So, and I know there's some people that are upset by this on the Sony side. Don't be. Next year, all these PlayStation games are going to be in the running for different awards. Gran Turismo for Best Racing Game, you know, Forza or excuse me, Horizon Forbidden West and, you know, God of War. These are going to be games that everybody's talking about and are going to be up for many, many awards. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoy the content. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crap Gamer 'em up, Crap Gamer out.